walking upstairs in the dark? If there are, I'd like to be considered for one. It is now my pleasure to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, the King. However, you do not have to rise. This is Alan King.
Thank you very much, Joey, for that thrilling introduction. That's all right. I'm not too crazy about you either, you know. I'd like to say hello to the people that voted for Nixon. How are you back there? I have no political jokes, except I thought for openings and for laughs, I'd like to now recite Alf Landon's acceptance I have on a silk-embossed pillow in my home. I am very happy to be here tonight. I've been in big rooms, but this is ridiculous. See, in the last couple of years, I know the deficit is great, but for $40, you could have had another 40 feet of wire. I would have chipped in myself. In the last few years, on television, I have been talking about my wife and my children and my home. And with the new family entering the White House, a pretty good suburban neighborhood, by the way, with their young children, they thought I might be able to give a bit of advice to them. Now, I've been married 15 years. My wife is in the audience tonight. No, I would come here and she would stay home. Forget about it, you know. She didn't care who was elected as long as she was at the inaugural show. You know that, don't you? 15 years, I was born and raised on the Lower East Side of New York in the tenement section. Of course, to look at my wife today, she comes from the very same neighborhood, but you'd never believe it, you know, unless you talk to her. You'd think she came from a plantation in Virginia somewhere, you know, which is one of the reasons she's not too happy with me, because I'm the only one left that remembers where she came from. I even have a picture of her old nose. It's not that I'm evil, it's the only defense I have left. Whenever she steps out of line, I throw the picture. You remember, Cyrano, how you used to look? You know, it's just one of my little humorous things. You know. But you know, whenever success comes to a man, it's the woman that changes. We don't have time. It's true. You want to judge a successful man? Look at his wife. She's usually wearing it. I remember how happy we were, 2 young kids in love, a one-room apartment. I was married 4 years. My wife told me I was to become a father. Have you ever noticed when a woman has anything important to tell you, she doesn't discuss it over the dinner table or during the evening? She waits till you're sound asleep. Did you ever notice that? It aggravates them that you're sleeping and they're not. Now, I found out most women don't sleep too well at night. In the morning and afternoons, they lay there like they're dead. But at night, they don't sleep too well. No. My wife watches the Late Show, the Late Show. Then she salutes the flag, sings the Star-Spangled Banner. She doesn't quit till the dot disappears. And now she can't sleep. She's pretty stimulated, you know. I mean, Raymond Navarro can get to you about 3 o'clock in the morning. Then she has to have a little night lunch. You ever see these women eat in the middle of the night? They throw in a rye bread with a bottle of milk. All day they're on Metrocal, but at night they throw in the rye bread. They figure if it's dark and nobody's watching, you don't gain any weight. That's the way they think. My wife cleans in the middle of the night. How would you like to get up 5 o'clock in the morning, get a glass of water, you come back, the bed is made? I've been doing that joke for 15 years. I still like the picture. Can you just see the poor soul coming back with the pasty eyes? She says, I thought you were up. What up? What do I deliver ice? Where am I going at 5 o'clock in the morning? And, you know, when you hear about the weakest sex, this is propaganda that they put down, you know. They're all strong as bulls, every one of them. Did you ever hear of a woman taking out an insurance policy? Forget about it. They're so cunning. The little tear, that's their great weapon. Anytime they're wrong, you end up apologizing. They cry. They all have the same lines. You ever have a fight with your wife? They all say, you don't love me anymore. What anymore? I'm going home to mother. That's the third bedroom in the rear. The old lady's living with us 5 years. Where you going? Did you ever leave your house about 7:30 in the morning? You tiptoe out to work, and you look back, there she lies. How beautiful she looks. Her head up against the pillow, the mother of your children. And as you get to the front door, you hear it. Did you leave me money? I have been considered the spokesman for the American married man for several years now. I've also been associated with other lost causes. I finally came up with a winner this year. Thanks to you, sir. I should like to do a... You know, with the little boy in the White House now, this little child that we've grown to love, I know that when he will cry during the night, we won't have this problem, of course, that the new occupants will have, because right away they'll call up the Secretary of Health and Welfare, and then he will call up the Secretary of the Interior, you know. But the greatest problem in raising children that I found is that when the father, the husband, comes home from work after a tough day, not knowing what's to greet him, the world on his shoulders, exhausted, she waits for him at the front door. I should like to dramatize the scene. The car comes up the driveway. Mother is in the house with the child. He hasn't come in yet, but she speaks to the child. Now you're going to get it. I let you get away with it all day. But he's here. King Kong has arrived. The villain enters the scene. This poor soul walks through the door. He doesn't know what's going on. And this is the way they greet you. Do you ever see their faces? You home? How did you figure that out? What, do you recognize the car? She says, don't raise your voice to me. What I've been through today. Go upstairs and give that kid a beating. I just walked in. Let me take off my coat. I hit better. Tell me, what did he do? She says, what did he do? What didn't he do? What is this, a riddle? What did he do? Give me a little hint so I could hate him. He says, I can't take it from that boy anymore. He's sending me to an early grave. I'm rooting for that boy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the night to confess the truth. I'm very happily married. I have 2 wonderful boys. But if I came out here and told you about a happy family, you wouldn't be very interested. You'd like something a little closer to your own, with a little hate and misery. This is the highlight of my career. Thank you for making it possible. Good night.